GM, everyone. Still a little later here than I'd like to be. Guess I
Morning. Yeah. You're good. Only 8:27. Not late.
Got Grok talking to me now. Hold on. Let me update one of my titles here real quick. Notice there's a little thing by my picture that I have to update manually every day. So got the wrong title from yesterday. That was it, but GM, everybody. Crypto Bull Ron. Looks like I need to pull the screen down a little. Sorry, I guess I need to come start prepping about a half an hour earlier than I have been. So I'd really like to come closer to 9 a.m. But anyway, we're still beating the opening bell by a little bit. As you see, stock futures. Let me look over on X real quick, make sure everything's working over there. Make sure we got our stream going there. Lots going on today. Futures, as you see, looking a little up right now. So let me pull this up without. Okay, good. It looks like we're streaming there. I'm not going to check YouTube and them. Hopefully good. If you're on YouTube and you're listening to me, drop a comment in the comment. Everybody going to my picture. Anyway, market a few minutes before the market opens. So far, futures are looking up right now. Got the NASDAQ about 0.8. The Dow, let's refresh it, but it's looking like it's about half a point roughly up. We'll see. We'll refresh it, see what it comes up with. But opening bell about a minute away. Where it looks like we're about 0.46, 0.57. Big news today, of course, the jobs report. And they call it the Super Bowl of jobs report for a couple of reasons. One thing is a couple of months after year, the revival, obviously, talking about its effect it could have on the Fed and what they do in the March meeting. Of course, we have a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, coming in I think May, but I don't know if has one or two more meetings, but S&P earlier that saw earlier that silver was up about 6% today. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, strangely, a little bit of a drop. Pull it up. Definitely worse than it was over the evening. Still looking down 1.6% for the day. We're sitting at 67,059, with the market just barely. This was the opening. Crypto and Bitcoin for 15 years now, full time for 10. The purpose of this show is to kind of bring you up to everything that happened when you were sleeping, everything that might affect the show, whether you're listening to it live. If you are, good morning. If you're listening to it on recording, that's great as well. The purpose of this show is really to catch you up on everything that happened and some of the macro trends that affect Bitcoin price. Kind of where we are in the market. We come here Monday through Friday, right before the opening bell to half an hour after, and kind of break it down for you. So welcome, and glad you could join us. Hopefully we can save you a little time by condensing what's going on. But Bitcoin just broke 68,000. Actually, that's nice. Down from the high of yesterday, about 69.9. So just under 70,000. So we're down 0.6 day, but since up 1.4%. So they like those jobs report, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Say that's not bad. I'll take it compared to how bad it was. Like I say, we got down all the way to 4, so we're up over 1,600 off the lows. Ethereum still barely below 2,000, down official price $8, down 1.8% for the day, but up 1.8% since the market opened, or right before the market opener. Let's just say this, since the job report came out about an hour ago, it's just been slowly trending up. We like that. XRP, a lot of XRP fans out there. GM to the XRP army. Good morning. $1.39.2, down 1.6 for the day, 1.5 for the hour. You know, XRP can be volatile, more up, more down last couple of months, but it's looking like it's right in line with the other. Let's take a look at Solana, which is one of my biggest positions. 82.07, 0.8, so a little down, a little more than the rest of the market for the hours. So that's how we are. More quick look and refresh the NASDAQ, see if those numbers are they're affecting us. So good morning. Like and retweet. Give me a follow if you like this kind of content on Rumble and YouTube. You there. I'm also over on TikTok. I will start live. Handle is at Crypto Bull Ron on all of those formats. Yeah, still about the same. Actually, a little better. 7% on the NASDAQ to 20. What we've got 20,411. Up, staying still. It's up 50,000, which we broke for the first last Friday. We're at 50,483, and the S&P up 0.71 at 6,991. So 69.91. So yeah, pretty good. Let's look at some of the news that's affecting the market. Break it down. Try and figure out where we're going, why we're here. Trickiest part's always figuring out where we're going. We going up, we going down. 300 million liquidated in the crypto market in the last 24 hours. I'll tell you, as long as we have people using high leverage, the market makers, the exchanges are just going to continue to come after that. They're going to continue to come after that. So, man, be careful if you use leverage. I say only use leverage like you would flying an airplane. Really know what you're doing, or just don't use it. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to pay attention, stay in spot. But 300 million liquidated. I mean, it's a big number. Happens often. And you see, now we're almost back to where we started. At least half of that's back. But the money that's liquidated doesn't come back. So beware out there. Of course, some of the big news you might, Dorsey, Cash App, low fees on large and recurring buys. Billionaire Jack who started Twitter in the first place, right? The original founder of Twitter, sold it to Elon. Of course, took it public first, and then it was sold to Elon. Cash App, and also what's his? He's got his little merchant company, which is huge too. Is that Circle? Is that Stripe? I don't know. But anyway, Cash App now has zero fees on large and reoccurring Bitcoin buys. I'll tell you, Jack Dorsey, who some people believe is Satoshi, very much an advocate of Bitcoin, huge Bitcoin maximalist, and really a great guy in the space, helping with mass adoption. He's very got a lot of stuff going on out there. So he really believes Bitcoin, as I believe originally was planned, Bitcoin is an actual currency, not just a store of value. So he's a big proponent of the Lightning Network and other things, doing everything he can. I believe Stripe. I'm not sure offhand, and we're a little low on time to follow that up. But anyway, Cash App is now offering zero low fees on large and recurring buys. Huge news, I believe. To look at some potential landmines we could step on, or something this looming government shutdown. Here we are with our good friends over there, Crypto News Hunters. House Speaker Johnson said Democrats are trying to push us into a partial shutdown. that happens, it will not be good for the market because the market does not like uncertainty. They just don't. And so we averted it last time. It was what we were shutting down for 2 or 3 days. That's the reason the jobs report got delayed. We'll be talking about that here in a minute. But yeah, just I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but keep in mind this is looming. And now listen, if you invest like I do, which is mostly dollar cost average, don't really care where the price goes, to be honest with you. Oh, thank you, Shazbo. GM, a strike. You know what? Let's ask, see if we can ask, AI. Always use AI when you come in this position. Hey, Ara, what we want to ask you about Jack Dorsey. What companies, we saw some news today about Cash App. What companies is he currently running? What's his merchant company and what does he have to do with Cash App?
Quick check on Jack Dorsey. Let me pull the latest.
Square. There it is. Square. Yeah. Sorry. All right, go ahead.
Got it. Jack's still tied to Block. Jack Dorsey? Yeah, he's still running Block. That's the parent company now, formerly Square. He co-founded it back in 2009, and he's the chairman and CEO. Square's the merchant side. Think point-of-sale stuff. Card readers for businesses, payments processing. That's his merchant company. Cash App? That's under Block 2. The consumer app for P2P transfers, stocks, and yeah, Bitcoin buys.
Okay, cool. So yeah, and Shabo here, right? Yes, Strike is Jack Muller. Square is the merchant product that you do on your phones. You see it a lot at smaller establishments. I have a Square account myself, and yeah, you can take things online. It's just you just do it the app on your phone. So yeah, so that makes sense. And then so Block, I guess, is the parent company, and they own Cash App as well. So that totally makes sense. Thank you, Shabo there. Yeah, Square. So always, because they both start with an S, I always get them mixed up. But anyway, yeah, so shout out to Jack Dorsey. Appreciate what he's doing. Definitely wants to make Bitcoin a currency, which I believe peer-to-peer money for the masses. I mean, that's what I believe that's what Satoshi believed as well. But anyway, we're not going to dwell on this government shutdown. Just know it's a possibility. Okay, it could happen. Just beware. Overall market, we got to remember. Part of the reason I believe in Bitcoin and why I think Bitcoin solves a lot of problems is the economy is really not fundamentally kind of weak, especially after the last 4 years. Trump's doing what he can to bring it back, but it's still got a lot of work to do. You know, we're like that 500-600 pound person on a treadmill there trying to work out and lose weight. But Liz Ann Saunders, she's a analyst, I believe, JP Morgan or something, but let's see. Probably won't say without looking up. But anyway, restaurant and bar spending continued to soften in December. Moving average of growth in retail sales for sector decelerated and fell below 2%. So, you know, the underlying economy is kind of worse than maybe we talk about. Keep that in mind. You know, there could be a crash coming at some point. Recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. Keep that in mind and stay below your means and buy Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, you know, ultimately is a hedge against this debasement and inflation, things like that. So yeah, buy your Bitcoin, hold it. But keep in mind, it's great news out there. This is one thing that I saw statistics from Glassnode here from Bloomberg. Bitcoin whales are buying again as other investors retreat. One of the things that really killed us over the last 6 months is whales that have held for years and years and hold over 1,000 Bitcoins or, you know, a lot of Bitcoin. I don't know exactly what the number is, but really dumped, really sold around that, you know, between 100,000, 126,000. Now, whether that's they believed in whether that's you know, we speculated on what caused that. whether it's because they believe in the 4-year cycle and they thought we had a 2 or 3 year bear market coming, or whether it's that they just wanted to take some off the table. They've been holding all these years, 15 years, 12, 15 years, or whether they want to take, one thing that we reported, I didn't think I reported on yesterday, but one of the winter mute, which is one of the bigger, I did do a little short about it. I don't know if I posted it, where I posted it, for sure on TikTok, maybe on YouTube, maybe on X. I'm not sure, but I meant to talk about it yesterday and ran out of time. One of the winter mute, which is one of the biggest market makers and get blamed for a lot of this liquidations. But anyway, one of their top analysts or buyers or managers or whatever said that Bitcoin's really we're really losing a lot of money in capital investment to AI. And I believe that. And that might have been why these wells sold. They all of a sudden saw, hey, we've got our whatever hundreds of X's, bought Bitcoin at $2 or 20 cents or 2 cents or whatever. Hey, why not diversify a little bit? So could have been a lot of reasons. No one really knows, but it's good to have them buying again. We need them to, definitely don't need them selling. So I'm glad they're buying. This was cool. I thought this feel good story. Tim Tebow, for those of you, I'm not that much of a sports guy, but one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever, didn't really won some national championships. I think he won that Heisman or whatever. Not sure of that. Like I said, I'm not a big sports guy, but listen, I guess his skills didn't really translate over to the NFL, though he was a hell of an athlete, and I think he played some baseball and stuff. Great athlete, overall good dude. He got a lot of flack because he always liked to pray. He's obviously a hardcore Christian, but dude, just a good dude, man. I like you. And I saw this and I thought that was awesome. Awesome event, I think everyone, we watched all these award shows, Academy Awards, whatever. I think everyone kind of dreams they could walk a red carpet, go to one of these kind of events. So I thought this was cool. He did one for special needs people. So shout out to Tim Tebow, man. Don't hear that much about him. Good dude, a little controversial, but I guess for all the right reasons. So I thought that was an awesome feel-good story. Love to see that. Okay, to the job report, which was called the Super Bowl of job reports, probably because we're a couple of days after the Super Bowl. But basically, the Bureau of Land Labor Statistics, it was delayed, by the way, because of that, partial government shutdown. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported 130,000 non-farm payroll jobs added in January, exceeding the forecast of around 66,000. So basically, the market that crushed it, as opposed to what they expected. So I would call it blowout, and that's probably what helped the market. But also they revised last year's, and I believe, not looking exact because I'm not looking at the numbers, but I believe they revised it down. 230,000. So basically showing that no jobs. Hold on, let me work on my screen share here. It's giving me, I'm seeing, maybe it's just a delay over on Twitter, but anyway, let me move this and see if it works here. Okay, let's see if we can find something. Yeah, job expectation was a blockbuster report here. Let me mute this guy here. Anyway, but this guy here, I watched this whole thing on CNBC. What he said, oh, that's weird. It looks like my Twitter's. Let me redo my screen share. I'm showing it right, but when I'm looking at my Twitter, it's looking like delayed. So don't know what happened there. Hopefully we're not having. But let me replace my screen sharing here. See if that updates it. And replace it to the same one, basically. Window. Okay, there we are. Maybe we have a little bit of a delay over in Twitter. I don't know. Or maybe not. I'll just make sure I get the right one up here. So make sure they're seeing the right thing. X rather. Yeah, this guy on CNBC is saying, hey, look, blow away. Great report. The only thing he was worried about is that, a lot of the stuff Trump's doing, all these, jobs he's reshoring and stuff could take years. Like Taiwan Semiconductor, that's like a 4 to 6 year deal. They're bringing in, billions of dollars of investments. So anyway, keep that in mind. That's weird. My X seems to be lagging. I don't know. Maybe let me look again here just to see. Okay. Maybe I was just lagging. Maybe I didn't have a refresh. Yeah. So the news is, what was jobs report is last year was revised down 230,000, almost showed that no jobs were created last year. This year's January's looked good, beat expectations, but take all those kind of tongue in cheek just because they often tend to revise them. And either way, the real story is not in the jobs report. The real story is how does it affect the Fed? So the Fed has two mandates, a dual mandate, keep down inflation and keep up with jobs, keep jobs growing. So the reason they did the last two rate cuts was because jobs were looking so bad. So this kind of mixed right here as far as how the market's going to take it. I mean, we see that the future took it pretty well. We'll refresh those and take a look. They seem to take it pretty well. But the question is, how does the Fed take it? And we'll look at some of the how the poly markets are looking. That's what poly markets, we can kind of look at how things are as far as what people think betting where it's going to go. So sorry, the screen's a little slow. I need to use something other than Yahoo. It's so slow. But anyway, yeah, we're up 0.52. So I would say looking good. Take another quick look at Bitcoin, see how it's doing. I'll actually pull up the hourly chart here. Down a little bit. Let me pull up the hourly chart just so we can kind of see where we've been here. So down, yeah, they're a bit off. They're 60, it's under 67, just over 68.5, and now just barely right around 67. So you can kind of see what's so mixed sideways. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see where that leads us. Let's jump back into the news. Have about 8 minutes or so to kind of talk about these stuff. Now, Anthony Pompanala, who many of us know and follow, has a good podcast, pretty good advocate, spokesman for Bitcoin. He said it doesn't matter what the jobs reports say this morning. The Fed should be aggressively cutting interest rates. Inflationary forces are swallowing the U.S. economy. Tick tock, tick tock. So a lot of people believe this. A lot of people believe that the Fed is way, way, way behind, and it takes a long time for the rate cut. So people don't believe in Powell and whatever, and happy saying we're maybe I'll be to the very sophisticated world, the TradFi world. They think that the Fed's way behind. So just wanted to throw that out there. Now the report cut markets fall from 20%. So at least in the first hour, half hour, that isn't going to help us get a rate cut. Though, is given how much Powell and Trump hate each other and stuff, I'm not really bullish that we're going to get a rate cut anyway till Kevin Warsh comes in. But anyway, wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, I think it shows, hey, yeah, we had it real bad last year. We had our 2 rate cuts, and it's looking good this year. As far as jobs and inflation, I like to look at true inflation. I believe has us well below 1%, but there's still government statistics still show us higher than what they want. But like I say, a lot of what Trump's doing is going to take some time to kick in, just like a diet, exercise does if you're trying to lose weight. It was they I mean, it seems to, and you know, you never know anymore. But I thought that was freaking hilarious. Beaver stealing, Beaver stealing a 2x4 out of a guy's truck, but who knows? Very, very interesting. This here too, I saw this in the little Olympic news. This guy on an uphill ski race broke a sub-6. That's crazy. I'm sick for feeling a lot. Had this older. Athletes are typically 1,500 meter. But anyway, so I thought this was crazy to do it on ski. Made me want to hit the gym. Okay. I don't know why when I have a good control with maybe I have seen, seems like Twitter or X is like taken with JP. He's a comedian. One day I was hanging with him at airport. He is hilarious. I thought this was classic. He said, not impressed to run up. See if it comes back here. I am definitely having some connection issues, so not liking that. But anyway, he said, not impressed. My dad used to run uphill to school both ways in the snow. So that's what the old people always used to tell us, right? We had it so much worse than you and whatever. It's probably true. But anyway, let's connect. Definitely not. We can get my screen to pop up. There we go. Yeah, sorry for the delay. I don't know why. I have really fast fiber optics cable here at my house, but don't know why I get a delay sometime. But anyway, just in 867 billion asset manager Alliance Bernstein has reiterated a buy rating on Bitcoin Treasury Company Strategy, which is MSTR, which those of you that don't know, you can buy that for your retirement fund and in your 401ks. Call your broker. It's a way to buy. With a price target of $450. So, good to see some strategists and stuff still bullish on Bitcoin. I like that the big banks in Wall Street are bullish and on MicroStrategy. Well, there's been a lot of FUD around MicroStrategy. It's probably a good time to buy it right now. Ripple, for the Ripple Army, all our Ripple fans out there. Ripple partners with Ivy investors to tokenize funds on the XRP ledger. So XRP, of course, has its own blockchain. Here's what I say. I like XRP. I don't love XRP. Having said that, I multiple 100x my money on the first couple of runs on XRP. I believe it's a blue chip, and I like what they're doing. I like reporting on what they're doing. You know, as far as overtaking the Swift banking system, I don't know if that's going to happen because now there's a lot of competition. But I know they are doing some great stuff with banks. But I love to see they're becoming banks themselves. I know over in like the Middle East and also in Europe and America, they're working on that or they've accomplished that. And I like to see that they're doing different things. RWA, real world assets, the tokenizing of assets, to me is one of the biggest trends coming up. Shout out XRP. Love to see them doing stuff like that. Doing, making stuff better. Couple things I want to show here from Solid Intel. Danxi Bank began offering BTC and ETH ETPs to clients, ending an 8-year ban on crypto services while maintaining that such investments are high risk. So another bank, World Bank, Global Bank here, big bank. I'm not sure where Danske Bank is out of, but they are another bank, joins the Bitcoin train, joins the Bitcoin standard. And also saw that, but original I wanted to look at from projected to post a $14 billion net loss in 2026 and does not expect annual profitability until 2029 as it seeks funding at an $830 billion valuation. So these are some big gambles they're taking on a big technology, and I think they're going to be okay. But keep in mind what you're dealing with here if you invest in these companies or AI related stuff. Once again, we reported yesterday, and Hoff told us on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show on X. We've been running for 4 years. He told us a year and a half. The way to play AI is through power and whatnot. We see that's happening. 6 states putting a skid on data centers because they're worried about the electricity. And Hoff kind of hinted a few last week, look into nuclear. But XRP, once again, some good news for both XRP and Solana holders here. XRP ETFs saw net inflow yesterday of 227 million XRP, 3.26. XRP is the newest one to have ETFs and ETPs. So that's good. Solana, relatively new as well. See if we can find that. Yeah, here we are. Solana ETF saw net inflow of 96,000, so $8.4 million yesterday. Bitwise was behind the bulk of this inflow. So both what we're seeing is 2 of the newest ETFs, which is Solana and XRP, seeing net inflows on kind of otherwise sideways or down days. To me, that's bullish for both of those projects. So I wanted to bring it to you. Elon revealed this part of what I put in the thumbnail in the title. I almost said EMA. Elon Musk X revealed Bitcoin is now one of the most searched for investments. So we're seeing a lot of people invest Bitcoin. It might be an inverse. What the hell's happening to Bitcoin? But either way, people are paying attention. And on X, at least, a lot of people are looking for it. I think that's bullish. Once again, there's all these tailwinds. You know, you might be bearish. We're in a bear trend. You might be bearish. You might think we're in a full-blown bear market. That's fine. And don't put your head in the sand like an ostrich. But bottom line is the tailwinds are bigger than they've ever been. Bitcoin is going to $1 million, like it or not. Congressman Beach says the USA will be buying soon. A little hopium there. If he does, that could be huge. I hope they do. I hope they're already doing it underneath things. And last but not least, our good buddy here, David Gockstein, who is does one of the biggest live streams every day around noon or so. Definitely follow him on X. Follow him on. He's also got, I think, he's really big. His live stream's really big on TikTok. Good guys here. Anyway, he said this, and I want to just leave everyone with this: man up and buy Bitcoin. I can't do it in his New York accent, but it's down. You're scared. Everyone's screaming it's going lower. Buy it anyway. The people who got rich bought when their stomach was in knots, and everyone thought they were idiots. They felt stupid as hell doing it. Did it anyway. You're either going to buy or you're going to sit there and watch it run without you again. Stop waiting. Buy Bitcoin. I'll leave you guys with that. Thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully 9 a.m. I am Crypto Bull Ron. We're sleeping big affecting the market, and good luck hump day, and we'll see everyone tomorrow.